Hello, my friends, and welcome to my second installment of the Friday 5. This is a video series that I debuted last Friday here on my channel, and I got a lot of wonderful feedback from all of you guys. I know that you said that you really liked the idea of this series, and you guys were also incredibly helpful about a question that I had posed to you guys. So if you happen to have missed that video, or if you're new to my channel, first and foremost, hi, I'm Katie. I love to talk all things candles. And in this series, this is something where I like to sit down and pick out 5 candles that were in my burn rotation this week, give you guys some updated thoughts, kind of like more like real-time thoughts, I would say. Some of these I might be like halfway through burning, I might be almost done burning, maybe I've emptied them, or maybe I've only gotten like 1 or 2 burns in, and be able to share my thoughts with you. So in addition to those kind of little quick mini candle reviews, in this particular episode, I'm also going to talk about the feedback you guys gave me last week when I posed the question about what should I do about dedicated reviews. So I know that I commented back. I try to respond to everybody's comments, but I did respond to a lot of your comments there, and I think I've come up with a pretty good plan. So I'm going to talk about that in this video. I'm also going to talk briefly about what's coming up with Cringle, and what else am I going to do? Oh, I have a little bit of a haul to share with you guys. I did get 2 Cringle candles that I ordered in their after Christmas sale, as well as a candle from a small business. I'm looking over there because it's in a box over there, and I forgot to like slide it over here before I started filming. And then I did also receive PR from HOMEWORX, and I have a little bit of an update for all of you guys regarding that. So lots of information in this one. Feel free to grab a drink, grab a snack, settle in. I know that last weekend we had some pretty frigid weather. I pre-filmed this video a couple of days ahead of time, so who knows what will have transpired by Friday. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. As always, you guys, I will have all of the candles that I talk about today in timestamps in the description box down below, as well as with any affiliate discount codes I may have to save you some money. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Let me talk about the first candle that I wanted to talk about here. This is the fragrance Enchanted Winter. Now this was part of Cringle Candles. I think it was part of like their Winter Reserve collection. And truthfully, I think that this was launched in early December alongside the Winter Flight collection. So Winter Flight, they had like Frosted Dawn, and there were 2 other candles, Snowy Cascade and Parisian Frost. And then from the Reserve line, I can't even remember, was this part of that one, or was this prior to that? I'm trying to remember when this launched. Maybe this one actually might have been launched alongside the Jolly Gingerbread. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Now that I think about it, I feel like this might have been launched in November. Regardless, this is a fragrance that I initially started burning so that way I could give you guys some post-burn thoughts. And then I put it aside and I said, you know what, that's a fragrance that I'm going to like in January. The fragrance notes on Enchanted Winter are pine, fresh, green, cypress, gin, and woody. So, we've kind of got like a little bit more of some different accords going on there. Here's the thing about this one, you guys. This is a fragrance that on cold sniff, I was like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like meh about it. But when I burn this one, this is a fantastic January fragrance. I'm actually, it's funny. I did that collaboration last weekend with my friends about good winter candles. The only reason I didn't include this one is because I feel like this is a fragrance. Let me put it this way. If I wasn't a candle reviewer, if I wasn't constantly focused on the new and trying to keep my collection in check and balanced with the need to review new stuff for all of you guys, I would actually consider repurchasing this candle. This to me is very fresh, and it's funny because juniper is not listed as fragrance note here, but gin is, and I detect a little bit of juniper in here. Now again, it is very green, but it's not necessarily like springtime green. There's just something about this that I really, really enjoy. I've actually been burning this alongside the Winter Wander candle that I have from Snif in that big 4-wick. That combination is really good because that's more of kind of like a perfumey, kind of slightly musky vanilla gourmand. And yeah, there's just something about this that's kind of like, it's a little bit fresh. It's not as heavy and cologne-y as another candle I'm going to talk about here that has a juniper note, but I really enjoy this one. So if you happen to see this candle, I think that this is one of the ones that might have been half price after Christmas. I don't think it's part of the buy one, get one half off Valentine's Day sale. But if you didn't pick this one up, if you tend to like I said, this is like outdoorsy fresh without it being minty or cologne like, or even like, because some of those they add like bergamot or something like that to give it more of like that like crisp. It's not that crisp, but there's something it's very green but wintry green. I'm not doing a great job explaining this, you guys. All I know is that I like this one. It's not overly woody. It's very tree-like, but it's a deviation from like all of like the Christmas tree types of fragrances. So yeah, I think I still have about a third of the wax left in this one. Really been enjoying it. Honestly, you know, it's the end of January now. Can you guys believe it? We made it through January. Almost, at least. Next week will be the first week of February. January always feels like the longest month of the year, doesn't it? And yeah, this is one that I'm going to finish. I'm going to prioritize finishing burning this week. But again, if I don't, it'll also be okay for me to stick it back into my collection and maybe enjoy it next January, because I actually do really like this fragrance. Again, I don't see myself repurchasing it just because I'm like, it's a high like for me. It's not a like true love, but it's on that border of like and love for me. I've really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Okay, another fragrance that has a juniper note in it is this Snif candle, Sweet Ash. So Sweet Ash has fragrance notes of juniper, bergamot, vanilla bean, fir balsam, tonka bean, and white moss. Now, this candle retails for $46 on the Snif website. This Cringle Reserve, which is 22 ounces, is $34. This one is 8.5 ounces of wax. That's 100% soy wax. This, they say, is a clean kind of like soy wax blend. So I don't know exactly what they're using in here, but I don't think it's paraffin in here. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. I really like this fragrance in their laundry care. That's probably my favorite, like, favorite format that I've enjoyed this fragrance profile. I also have this in their eau de toilette, and I like it. It's not going to be a repurchase for me, but I like it enough. I'm going to tell you guys, the candle is probably my least favorite, and here's why. The thing about this, first and foremost, much like the experience I had with their Old Saint Wick in this style of format, I had a really difficult time for the first half of this burning getting the wicks to not be puny and for the wax to pull out. It was really on the struggle bus. I don't know what happened there. I was tempted to email Snif, but I already did that with the Old Saint Wick, so I didn't want them to think like, oh, this lady's just complaining about our candles all the time. I've had a pretty good experience with their 4-wick candles so far, like my Winter Wander. I've noticed that the wicks have slowed down a little bit, but it's still producing good fragrance. And my Old Saint Wick did that as well in the 4-wick, but again, still output good fragrance. But in these 2 wicks, if they are not burning hot, if those flames are not going, they don't throw. And unfortunately, that was what I experienced about the first half of the burn of this candle. Now, I will tell you, I dumped a little bit of wax and then I relit it. And now you might even be able to tell in the B-roll there that you can see that I have actually decent wicks on this one. But I am also going to say the fragrance on this is definitely leaning slightly more masculine cologne-like in the candle, even more so than it does in the perfume. The perfume, I feel like I pick up a little bit more of the vanilla accord, whereas I feel like in the candle, I'm picking up more of the juniper and the bergamot. It leans a little bit more cologne-like to me. Now, I have been burning this one usually in my daughter's bedroom because she actually kind of likes masculine fragrances at certain times. And then I will burn Enchanted Winter in my bedroom, and then I'll burn that Winter Wander out here in the living room. And again, it's a nice fragrance combination, but I will not be repurchasing this because I feel like even once this started to get going with the flames not being puny, strength and throw was probably just like medium. It was probably around a 5. I do have to have it in a hurricane to get any kind of amplification of performance out of that. And truthfully, for a $46 candle, I just expect a lot more. I didn't pay $46 for this. I did use some rewards points over on the Snif website. I will say they are pretty generous with their rewards points. But yeah, I cannot recommend this one in the 2-wick format. I will say that if you are looking for Snif candles that I have tried in the 2-wick format that I would recommend, the Mornings at Lavender has performed. I've had 2 vessels of that in this size, and both times those performed very, very well for me. I had really good strength and throw, and their Healed Away also has performed really well for me in this format. But I would say Old St. Wick, which is no longer listed on the website, which, by the way, I was like so bummed because I was going to go onto the website and buy a 4-wick backup of Old St. Wick, and I went on there and it's just not even on there. Like, they never even clearanced it or anything. They just pulled it off of the website. I'm like, well, darn. But yeah, this one I can't recommend in this 2-wick format. Not for the price point, not for the performance I got from it. And truthfully, if you like this fragrance, the best way to enjoy this fragrance, in my opinion, is in their laundry care. But something I wanted to touch on here, I feel like this is a good time to kind of talk about this. I did get your feedback last week when I posed the question about the dedicated reviews. And you guys were so helpful with that. So what I wanted to let you guys know is that for the next 3 months, what I'm going to try doing is I'm going to try posting my like dedicated reviews on the shorts tab of my like uploads or whatever. So this is one of the candles that I did do a shorts review on this week. Now, in keeping with wanting to keep you guys updated, because I think one of you guys commented and I was like, girl, I'm right there with you. One of you commented and said, like, I don't really watch shorts. I'm not even sure how to find them or whatnot. And I'm like, girl, I'm with you. I don't watch shorts on YouTube either. I'll watch reels on Instagram, but which it's the same type of thing. But I, for whatever reason, don't watch shorts on YouTube. But what I found in uploading this first shorts is that I am still able to add those shorts videos to my playlists that already exist. So you will find my review for Sweet Ash under my candle reviews playlist. I also have those for specific brands. So like say Cringle candle, Caramel Sundays, HOMEWORX. If I were still doing Bath and Body Works, you would be, when I upload those shorts, I do make sure that I add them to not only the candle review playlist, but I also add them to that specific brand playlist. So the other thing that I'm going to do though is every week when I sit down to do this Friday 5, I will let you know what reviews I posted to shorts. So that way, if you happen to have missed them and you want to see, want to go back for a reference or whatnot, or see like kind of some of those thoughts, you can go out and check those out. So this week, I think I only had 2 planned to go up, and that would be Sweet Ash. And then the other review that I'm planning to put on shorts is the Caramel Sundays pistachio buttercream waffles. So those 2 will be on there. So I hope that that's a way to kind of like satisfy still being able to give those dedicated reviews for those who want to easily be able to access them. Because a lot of you guys said, I feel like, and I am in complete agreement, dedicated reviews are kind of they're kind of like the backbone of a candle channel. If you are a dancer, it's like ballet is the foundation of all styles of dance. We can go out there and like all of the other things. We can like the hauls and we can like the empties and we can like all of those things, but the dedicated reviews oftentimes give people the information that they're really, really looking for before they purchase, and they're easier to find. And so I don't want to give those up fully on my channel, but I'm also, just doing some experimentation. So like I said, those will be in the shorts format. And then some of you guys also suggested something else, which I am going to do. I'm going to take that into account for specific collections. So say, we'll talk about this in a couple of minutes, say the Cringle Easter collection. If there are a couple of dedicated reviews, I'm actually I'll still do a short for those, but I will make sure that I do a video where maybe I'm combining, like say 3 of the collection videos into one video. So that way you guys can have all of that information. So again, lots of experimenting here over the next couple of months. I mean, there wasn't really much over the last few months, but over the next few months, there will be some experimentation, but I am in agreement with a lot of you guys. I feel like the dedicated reviews are really, really important to my channel. I don't want to lose those, but it just might look a little bit different. And the thing I keep telling myself is, if I don't like it, if it doesn't work for you guys, I can always go back to what I was doing, right? It's my channel. I can do what I want. But anyways, that's enough about Sweet Ash. Let's go ahead and talk about another Kringle candle. This one I just recently talked about in my top winter candle suggestions. And this is one that is actually currently on sale. It's part of the buy one, get one 50% off over on the Kringle website. The beloved, much raved about, much hyped, rightly so, Jelly Donut. Jelly Donut has fragrance notes of raspberry, blackberry, pastry, fruit, citrus, butter, and vanilla. Now, yeah, this is one, you guys. I think Kringle launched this. I want to say it was 2022 that they launched this fragrance. And there is a reason why people love this scent. One, the fragrance, the way that the raspberry and blackberry is mixed together in here produces a very authentic jelly filling type of fragrance. It's not overly candied, not overly artificial. Sometimes I have a problem with that with different brands, particularly their fruity fragrances. I mentioned this in another video that I haven't always been a fan of like any kind of berry notes because I feel like in other brands they're done so synthetically that my nose just doesn't appreciate it. That doesn't mean yours can't. I'm just saying mine doesn't. And so I've always been kind of like, I don't know about that. But this one is balanced with a little bit of that fried pastry note in the background, which, by the way, can we just take a deviation here? I went to Costco the other day and got those little beignets with the hazelnut filling in them. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you have a Costco membership, you better go get some of those because they were delicious. But getting back on track, yeah, this smells like, it smells like exactly what you have pictured here, even like down to a little bit of that like powdered sugar on there. There's a sweetness to it, but this is just so, so well done. And I will tell you guys, the 2-wick performs very well in my space. I think if you have a really large open concept home, you would like the 4-wick. But I am going to tell you guys, if you're in a little bit smaller home, like my home is between like 17 and 1800 square feet. It's not a very large home. This 2-wick fills up my open concept areas. It fills up the living room. It throws into the kitchen. It's just a beautiful fragrance. Solid 8.5. I would say 8.5 in terms of strength and throw. It's a beautiful fragrance. And like I said, at the time that I'm filming this, they are still running their buy one, get one 50% off Valentine's Day sale. And I did want to give you guys a little bit of an update on that. I did post, I think I posted it in the community tab, but I did end up shopping from that sale. And I did end up purchasing one of the candles from the Valentine's Reserve Day or Reserve Valentine's Day Reserve collection. There we go. Words can be hard sometimes. So I did end up purchasing one of those candles, and then with that buy one, get one, I did end up purchasing 2 candles that I've never tried before. One I've never even known about, and then the other one is a country candle crossover fragrance, a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I was intrigued enough by it. And then the other item that they did drop with that Valentine's Reserve, we kind of had a heads up, but we didn't really have the details about what exactly they were going to be. They did launch some 3-wick tins. I believe that they're 14 ounces. They retail for $20, so a little bit more economical price point. I was able to use a discount code on top of that, so it brings them down to like $17. So I did end up purchasing one of those so that way I can give you guys some feedback on how those tins perform. So keep your eyes out for a haul. I imagine probably within the next 2.5 weeks, I'll have that for you guys. I haven't received any shipping notification yet. Again, I know that over the weekend they had that big, massive winter storm. I think, in fact, they were closed last weekend just because of the blizzard-like conditions. But anyways, you guys, getting back on course here, Jelly Donut was incredible, and I should have a haul coming up in a couple of weeks for you guys. Now, another fragrance that I was really enjoying this week, because here I am wanting all of the fruity gourmands. This is Caramel Sundae's Double Dipped Danish. So Double Dip Danish has fragrance notes of blueberry compote, powdered sugar glaze, warm cream cheese icing, and pie spices. Now, I do believe that I did a dedicated review on this one last week. Oh my gosh, you guys, the way that Caramel Sundaes does blueberry, it's so good. I know I've said this a billion times, and I will keep saying it. Pistachio, cranberry, blueberry. You see any of those notes with Caramel Sundaes, get it. It's just fantastic. I am in love with this fragrance. You get that blueberry note front and centered, but you do get a little bit of that like flaky crust. It almost smells like toaster strudel. You get the sweetness of like a powdered sugar glaze on here. I don't detect a ton of cream cheese, which honestly, you guys, that is what gave me a little bit of hesitation about this candle, because cream cheese can pull lactonic and sour to my nose, but I don't detect anything like that in this candle. It is so, so yummy. I just love this one. And I will say, strength and throw on this one is pretty good for me. I'm going to say it averages at about a 7 in this 2-wick. I did mention this, I think, in this review. One of the things I have found as a quirk of soy wax is that sometimes it starts out really strong, sometimes it doesn't start out strong. And then I find that I hit pockets sometimes in the wax, and this is across all 100% soy wax candle brands. It's not just caramel sundaes. I've found this plenty of times with Cringle. I will hit a pocket sometimes where I feel like I don't get as much fragrance, and then suddenly the fragrance will come roaring back to life again. So typically for me, I find that to be true usually when I'm at this like the burns like right here on the wax pool, and then once I get past kind of that halfway mark, they start to come to life a little bit more. I have been experimenting with not trimming the wicks at all. I know it's driving me a little bit crazy, but I will say that I am finding that the flames burn slightly hotter, not sooty, but they do burn slightly hotter, and I do feel like I do notice that the candles start to throw a little bit better and project more fragrance in not doing that. So yeah, I love this fragrance. I hope that they bring this one back at some point. I will have my caramel sundaes wish list up for you guys next week in planning what is on my wish list. It's pretty lengthy, but my bank account is already quivering. But yeah, Double Dip Danish, if this one ever makes a return, I do highly, highly recommend it. Oh man, I just sit here and keep sniffing it. I have been burning this with Kringle's Juicy Strawberry. And I have been burning it with, this is the perfect segue into the last candle that I wanted to talk about today. This is the fragrance Easter Brunch from Cringle. We have now received confirmation. It was funny, I actually filmed last week's video prior to getting the information about Kringle's Easter launch. So let's talk about Easter Brunch here for just a few minutes. Easter Brunch has fragrance notes. Let me see here. I did pull out my Cringle sheet here. Easter Brunch has top notes of sweet and almond, mid notes of butter and vanilla, and base notes of cream and vanilla. Now, I do have a dedicated review on this candle. I think it might be I think I actually have an Easter collection playlist for Cringle. I think I did that because yeah, I've had it going for like 2 years now. Anytime there's like new candles with the Easter collection, I add them in there. So I actually have this. This is a 2024 pour. I've had this for almost 2 years. I will tell you guys, you can see that the burn is pretty sooty on this one. But this fragrance, you guys, I'm going to tell you guys, this is one of those candles that when I smell it on cold, it smells very buttery, very savory, almost like I don't really like it as much on cold. I was really hesitant the first time I had this to light this because I was like, I don't know, this doesn't quite smell like what I thought it was going to smell like. Very, very savory and buttery on cold. However, when this is lit, it calms down. I would say it becomes a very authentic croissant scent. The almond note in here does not lean cherry, like cherry almond extract. I think sometimes for a lot of people, almond can be a note that turns them away because it can come across maybe medicinal, like a cherry note. I know that Bath and Body Works has had an almond croissant fragrance in the past, and to me, that one smelled a little bit plasticky and I didn't care for it. That is not the issue at all with this one. There is a reason why this is such a popular fragrance, but I will tell you guys, if you have similar fragrance preferences as I do, give this one a chance. If you order it when the Easter launch comes out, we're going to talk about that in just a second. If you order it when the Easter launch comes out, give it a burn. If you don't like it on cold sniff, give it a burn because it really does transform. Again, on cold, even now, I smell like butter and I smell like a little bit of that like flaky pastry in here. Not as much as the almond, but when it burns, this one just really, really comes to life. Strength and throw on this candle is very good for me. Much like Jelly Donut, it's a solid like 8.5 out here in the open concept. And again, I love pairing this right now with that double dipped Danish. If you happen to have purchased the blueberry milkshake when Country Candle had those kind of like being phased out, I could even see this going nicely with like their cherry pie fragrance. That might be a good combo. So this is a really, really good one. I am actually almost done, and I actually think I'm going to purchase, I will probably purchase another one when the Easter collection comes out. So I feel like that's a good segue for me to kind of get into some candle news. So I'm like, let me go ahead and put my leg up here. We're going to cross over here and sit down and chat a little bit more. So talking about Kringle Easter, by now I think a lot of the ambassadors have gotten the word out that Kringle Easter will be launching on February 12th. I believe it says at noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's in what, about 2 weeks? And here's the thing. I know that I think that there's a total of 12 fragrances that are going to be, is it 12 fragrances? Yeah, I think there's 12 fragrances that are going to be launched. There are going to be some returning fragrances, and I'm not going to get too far into the weeds on the Easter collection right now because I do hope to have another video for you guys this weekend. I did receive confirmation that PR is on its way to me. I believe that I am receiving 5 of the new Easter collection candles, as well as the one new, they do have a new St. Patrick's Day candle. So I am receiving the St. Patrick's Day candle. It's off the top of my mind. I can't remember what it is called. So here's the thing though, that I did want to let you guys know. There are returning fragrances with Kringle, as well as a bunch of new ones. Like I said, the candles that I am receiving in PR are going to be 5 of the new fragrances. Hope to have that video for you guys, but just to kind of put it out there, if you are not in the Kringle Facebook group, if you don't follow other like platforms or like social media platforms, I did post it on my community page, and I believe Rachel from Simply Scented Life also posted it on hers. Mick did address the elephant in the room, which is the fact that this new Kringle Easter launch is going to be available in a smaller vessel. It is the same 2-wick vessel that was available during the Halloween Spellbound collection. It's the same size vessel. So it's 2 wicks. I believe they are 16 ounces of wax. I will double check when mine arrive this week. But here's the thing, you guys. The price point is going to be $26 per ounce, you guys. It's like a 12-cent difference per ounce from the 2-wick jars as opposed to the large 2-wick tumblers. Mick did address the reason why these are in a 2-wick is because they have been dealing with an ongoing strike at their glass manufacturer, their glass supplier. And that caused a lot of delays. It caused a lot of a ripple effect throughout the industry. And so they're trying to play catch up right now, but there's been a lot of delays. And so unfortunately, they just didn't have the glass available to go ahead and do these large 2-wick vessels that they normally have done. So again, I won't go too far into the weeds on that because I think I'll cover that a little bit more in the actual Kringle Easter video. But I did want to give you guys that information because I know we're excited about it, and I will make sure to give you guys not only my cold snif impressions, but I will definitely try my very, very best to give you guys some initial post-burn thoughts on the candles that I do receive. But again, if you don't want to miss out the Kringle Easter launch information, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I'm going to pause and bring over this little boxed haul over here to share with you a couple of things that I wanted to that I'm excited about. So give me a minute. Alrighty, I've got a couple of things to share with you guys that have recently come into my collection. Let's go ahead and start out with a couple of items that I picked up during the after Christmas sale. One of these items actually wasn't even on sale, but I've had my eye on it for a little while. I talked about it over on my Instagram last week. But let's go ahead and talk about an item that I think I've actually had this in my collection a long time ago. And I feel like it was one of those fragrances that like I initially liked. But it's funny, I was like, you know what, I think I want to try that fragrance again because I don't really remember exactly how I felt about it. Or I think the other thing for me is I feel like my fragrance preferences have changed a little bit. And I know that this is a very, very popular Christmas fragrance. I ended up purchasing Christmas Stroll during the after Christmas sale. So this large jar is normally $31. It was on sale for $15.50. Fragrance notes are balsam fir, pine, green, moss, sweet, spice, winter air. Now, this fragrance to me, I do like this one a lot. Like, it's funny. I bought it and I was like, I ended up gifting it, I think, a couple of years ago when I had it because I just didn't really love it. But now when I smell it, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this. This is kind of in that vein. I would say this smells more Christmassy to me than juniper and laurel. But if you like the sophisticated element that juniper and laurel brings to a tree fragrance, I feel like that's how Christmas Stroll is. This actually reminds me, and I have said this before, this actually reminds me a lot of, if you've ever been to Disney World, to Magic Kingdom, there is a Christmas shop in Magic Kingdom. I think it's like right as you head into Liberty Square. Um, and the inside of that Christmas shop smells like Christmas Stroll. That's what it reminds me of. There's a little bit of spice in here. You get the tree note. Like you get more spice in this one than you do juniper and laurel. Juniper and laurel doesn't have any spice notes upon my recollection. It's just more tree, whereas this is tree, but there's spice and warmth and a little bit of woodiness to it, but it's not as woody. It's not as woody and sweet as Christmas. Yeah, that one's just, it's really, really nice. So I'm going to put this one in my stash for the next holiday season. Glad that I have this classic scent that so many people rave about now in my collection. And then this is the one that I talked about last week over on my Instagram account. So this is a reserve fragrance that was kind of on my radar. I think it was my friend Amy said, was it Amy said that she liked this? I know her daughter Haley loves this one. And so this is one that's always kind of been like on the fringe. I think Melanie likes this one too. People were saying in the 2-wick it was a little bit lighter. So if you had interest in it, to get it in the 4-wick. So last summer when I actually visited the Cringle store, this is one that I smelled in store and I made mental note that I was like, I want that for the springtime because that's a really beautiful scent. And that candle is Vanilla Rose Cone. So fragrance notes on Vanilla Rose Cone are vanilla, waffle cone, sheer rose, citrus accord, apple blossom, and sandalwood. So here's the thing about this fragrance, you guys. I'm just gonna sniff the lid here. I don't want this to fall. This is a beautiful scent. I've always said rose makes me a little bit nervous. I have some bad scent memories with rose just making me feel nauseated or headache inducing. But this is a very like, I wouldn't necessarily describe it as a soft rose. It is a floral, like it's not as soft as some of the roses that they use in some of their like Halloween or fall candles, or even as soft as the rose that was used in oh, it was their sunflower and suede, oddly enough, sunflower, but I smelled more rose. It's definitely like, it's not as strong as like Yankee Candle's fresh cut roses, which is just like, bam, rose in your face. But you do get the rose, but I get the warmth of a waffle cone and that vanilla in here too. It's a combination that you wouldn't necessarily think would work, but it does. It's a beautiful, beautiful scent. I am actually planning on burning this with, I bought a backup of lemon tea and roses when it was in the country format, when they had those clearance on Black Friday. And then I did recently notice that it made the transfer over to the Cringle lineup, so it's still now available. But I'm planning to burn lemon tea and roses with this vanilla rose cone because I think that they're really going to complement each other. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to get to burning this one this week. You guys will probably, maybe, I can guarantee you'll probably see this vanilla rose cone within the next 2 weeks. Maybe if not next week on this series, you'll probably see it within 2 weeks because I'm really excited. I'm like chomping at the bit to get started on burning this one, but I've been really intentional about trying to finish burning like very typical January fragrances for me over the last week. But yeah, really, really excited. I love this one on cold sniff. I will keep you guys updated on thoughts of how it performs in the 4-wick, but really excited that I finally got my hands on it. Now let's switch over here to a small business that I purchased from over on Instagram. This is a candle from a brand called That Candle Place. So I ended up purchasing, this is a 17-ounce soy candle. It is handcrafted in Pavilion, New York, and I ended up purchasing the fragrance Frosted Carrot Cake. Frosted Carrot Cake, it looks like has fragrance notes of spiced orange, carrot, cinnamon, maple sugar, clove, nutmeg, vanilla bean cake. All right, so here's the thing, you guys. I feel like I'm still on the hunt for the perfect carrot cake fragrance because I loved the Country Candle carrot cake from 2024. I am convinced that Cringle changed it when they put it into their 2025 like Kringle tumblers. It changed. Something about it smells like almost like yeasty. I'll finish burning it, but like I don't love it. They changed it. Whereas the country one was more spice forward, and I think that that's what I have realized I really love. The other candle that I would say is still a temptation for me to buy, even though I only buy soy wax candles now moving forward, is Bath and Body Works Iced Carrot Cake. Their carrot cake, I do really, really love that fragrance. Caramel Sundays, I didn't love it last year. Like, it wasn't a hate, but it wasn't a love either for me. I'm trying to think of other brands. Oh, I think HOMEWORX had one. That one missed the mark for me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm on the hunt for a good carrot cake fragrance. So let's go ahead and give this small business a try. I think that this candle was around like $20, $21. So I feel like it's at a reasonable price point. You do need to add some shipping on top of that. So here's the thing with this fragrance. When I initially smelled this, it reminded me quite a bit of, it reminds me a little bit of Cringle Candles Lil Devil from their Halloween collection last year, as well as some of that like orange and spice note that you pick up in their autumn spice candle. That's what I detect. So I actually lit this yesterday. I had Kringle's carrot cake burning out here, and then I thought, you know, let's go ahead and light this one up complimentary to see how it does. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys, just initial thoughts on this one. I'll include this one again. I'll do a dedicated review, and I'll include it eventually in the Friday 5. First, I burned this one for a long time yesterday. The first 3 hours, I'm going to tell you guys, it was kind of scentless. I didn't really smell anything. But truthfully, you guys, I give every candle that I burn a mulligan on the first burn, especially this time of year when things are coming from across the country. You know, they're coming from colder climates. New York, I don't know where Pavilion is in New York, but I know New York is pretty cold this time of year. Not as warm as it is here in Arizona. So I understand that there's probably been some changes with scientifically with what's going on with the wax since then. These are also, I believe, hand poured. So again, a little bit different dynamic than like a machine poured candle. But here's the thing I'm going to say. After 3 hours, I started to smell it. And then I actually went over to a friend's house last night. I had other family members home. And when I returned last night, I smelled this right away when I walked through the door. It was starting to throw really well. And I'm going to tell you guys, I actually really, really liked the fragrance on this. Do I think that is it Bath and Body Works Iced Carrot Cake to me? No. But do I enjoy it enough? Yeah, I actually did like this. I would say that it kind of reminded me a little bit more of what I enjoyed about the Country Candle Carrot Cake. I think I've concluded I like a very spice forward carrot cake note followed by frosting. And that's what I was getting in this one. So I need to give this one a couple of more burns. I need to give this one a little bit more time. But so far, you guys, you know, like I said, the first 3 hours, not so great, but then it really started to come to life and was filling up. I had it in the bedroom last night, but I'm telling you, it was actually starting to throw out here into the living room when I was burning it. So keep you guys updated with these thoughts. Again, this is another 100% soy wax formula. Let me see what else. I think that they also say that they are, you know, like a non-tox brand. I know that Caramel Sundays, I know their business model for a lot of people is very difficult, or some people just don't like supporting that. So I am trying to find some other brands that you have a little bit more easy access to them. It's not as quote unquote Hunger Games style. So yeah, this one so far, I'll give you guys some updates, but this might be a brand, I don't know, that that you guys could be interested in. I did also place an order with the brand that my friend Amy has been talking about lately, the Gift Gala company out of Texas. In fact, my first order from them should be here. Again, I told you guys I'm pre-filming this a couple of days ahead of time. It should be here this week, so I will either have my haul up prior to this video, or it'll be coming up pretty soon to share with you guys. I'm really excited about that, but I have since placed another order because they had a spring launch happen last weekend. And so I did order the like sampler box so that way I could smell a couple of the different fragrances. So I will be reviewing that brand. I know that Amy's starting to like kind of get the word out about that brand. And so I'm influenced just like a lot of you guys are, like, especially when it comes from some of my friends here that like I really trust their opinion. So I'm really curious to get my nose on that. But yeah, that I will keep you guys updated on this frosted carrot cake. So far, I like the fragrance on it, but we'll keep you updated. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you guys and give you guys a little bit of an update here. I did receive some PR from Slatkin & Co. This is a HOMEWORX candle. They also have soaps that they sent me. They were very generous with their PR package. I had some air fresheners, but it looks like we are getting another Limoncello Cupcake flanker type of fragrance. So last year they did the flankers with like toasted coconut. It was Limoncello Cupcake and toasted coconut, I think Bing cherry. They did one with raspberry, I think. And so they sent me some PR. They did send me 4 hand soaps, which I love the hand soaps. But the newest flanker is going to be Limoncello Cupcake and Lavender. So they have it in the hand soap here. They also sent me the original Limoncello Cupcake, the Bing Cherry, and the Toasted Coconut, which truthfully, you guys, I really do like these HOMEWORX hand soaps. I feel like they're a pretty good value for what you get. I have a family of 5. We're always washing our hands in here, you know, there's germs everywhere, right? So we are always washing our hands. And I feel like these last us a pretty good amount of time. In fact, I actually just put away some of the winter scented ones to bring out some of these more spring, summer type of scents. But I do really like these. They're really nice on my hands. They did send me the reed diffusers, which I don't use reed diffusers. So I have actually set those aside for a local charity auction that's happening this week to give as a door prize. And then they did send me a duo of this Limoncello Cupcake and Lavender candle. The fragrance notes are limoncello, candied lemon, lavender sprigs, and baked vanilla cupcake. And like I said, they sent me 2 of them. Now, here's the thing. First and foremost, we talked about the wax, you know, going through some changes coming from a colder weather climate. So I don't know what happened to the wax here. It looked like it took a beating in shipping, but the glass is fine. The vessel is fine. This to me smells like limoncello cupcake with a drop of lavender in it. I actually like the fragrance. If you're somebody who likes like a lemon lavender fragrance, which I noticed quite a few brands put out during this time of year, a lavender and lemon cupcake duo. In fact, I'm trying to think, I think Caramel Sundays has one coming up in their latest restock, maybe, not sure. But here's the thing about this. This is something that I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on. I have actually formally withdrawn being a Slatkin & Co. affiliate or ambassador. And I know that one of you had actually kind of like mentioned that on this video last week. And I had let you guys, I had actually responded to that individual that like, yeah, that's something that's already starting to be, the wheels are in process behind the scenes. So I just wanted to obtain some confirmation on that before I share that information with you guys. No bad blood, nothing, you know, in fact, both parties were very open to working with each other in the future. It's just that I explained to them, and as I'm explaining to you guys, it is very disingenuous for me to go ahead and still be affiliated and an ambassador for a brand that I personally am not like aligned with purchasing that type of wax formula moving forward at this point in my life, right? I've been pretty vocal about saying like I want 100% soy wax candles. I'm veering more towards things that are a little bit cleaner, non-tox. And so it was not, truthfully, I just didn't feel right about continuing to be affiliated or receive commission or anything promoting a brand that I myself just am not really wanting to spend my own personal money buying a lot of recently. Now, I do want to put it out here that that does not mean that I will never purchase from HOMEWORX again. Just like I say, I won't ever say never with Bath and Body Works. There are some fragrances that each of those brands put out that I absolutely love, right? And I can't quit. In fact, I have a video idea in my head to share with you guys that might be a little bit fun now that I'm on this soy wax journey. But I did want to let you guys know that I no longer have a code with Slatkin & Co. I know that a couple of my fellow creators still do. I know that Amy still has one with them. I'm trying to think if McKenna does. I know Melanie, Brett, like a lot of them still do. So just wanted to put that out there for you guys. I am being true to who I am. It didn't feel right for me to continue to represent a brand that, like I said, I didn't want to spend my own money on at this point in my life. But with that being said, you guys, there's no bad blood between us. Everything was handled very, very professionally on their end. And I would be open to working with them again if things were to maybe change in the future, or if I decided that I missed a lot of their fragrances and wanted to come back. But anyways, wanted to share that news with you guys. But I did tell them that I would still show the products that they sent to me, because they actually had notified me that this was already on its way to me, like right as I was sending out the email, that I was like, yeah, I don't want to be part of the program anymore. So I did tell them that I felt like it was still the right thing to do, was to share this information with you. I do believe that this is part of a TSV that is going on. I think the information I was given was that this is going to be going on Friday, which is the day that I'm uploading this video. So if you're interested in this fragrance scent, or maybe some of those, I don't know if that's going to be a hand soap set, but I do believe that they are running a TSV over on QVC. So feel free to go ahead and check that out if this is a fragrance that interests you. But as for me, you guys, I actually think I'm going to, I have 2 events going on in my town that are looking for like door prizes, raffle prizes. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and pass those along to somebody who might really enjoy them. And yeah, I feel like that way I'm still spreading the brand. So I think that's it for this video. Again, it's pretty lengthy. I told you guys it's going to be a long one, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, maybe you were snuggled up on the couch, or maybe you were like me. I actually tend to watch YouTube with earbuds in, and a lot of my favorite creators, I call them all my candle friends, keep me company as I'm usually washing dishes, folding laundry, doing all of my normal household tasks. And however I was able to be of entertainment to you today, I hope I did not disappoint. So let me know in the comment box down below what you enjoyed most about this video. Are you excited about Kringle's Easter launch? What do you think about some of these new candles that I've purchased? Do you guys have any other small businesses that you would like to see me review or have on my radar? I'm always open to all of your thoughts. So once again, I would encourage you to please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. The other thing that I've noticed there, I've mentioned this a couple of times, I don't even know what all the hype is about the hype button, but apparently you can hit the hype button if you really, really enjoy a video. You only get so many hypes per week, I guess, that you can do that. It's a lot easier to do that, I think, on a mobile device. So if you're watching it on an iPad or a phone, easier to do that. But that really helps me out as a creator. It kind of like pushes a lot of my content out into the old YouTube universe. So I would appreciate it if you want to use your hype points and hype this video. That helps me out. And again, if you're just coming across my video for the first time and feel like you vibe with me and want to stick around, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I hope to have empties up for you guys next week. And like I said, I got a couple of hauls and things to be sharing with you guys. So if you don't want to miss out, hit that subscribe button. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.